Are we entering a new era for Wallabies rugby? Guys, to answer that, I'm going to cover a couple of factors that I think have changed with this new Wallabies setup. And then at the end, I'm going to give you my conclusion on whether this is a new era for Wallabies rugby or not. So, look, the first factor that has obviously changed for the Wallabies is Joe Schmidt. Look, guys, he is an absolute world class coach. Look, you just look at his record with the Ireland rugby side. Look, how many Grand Slams did they win under him? Obviously, the Irish team got their first ever victory against the All Blacks. Under Joe Schmidt, the Ireland team beat the All Blacks a number of times, which had previously not been done also. Furthermore, you look when Joe Schmidt joined the All Blacks in 2022. Prior to him joining the All Blacks attack, it really lacked clinical, accurate attacking patterns on attack big time. When Joe Schmidt joined, he made a significant difference to the clinical accuracy of the All Blacks attack. Look, in summary, Joe Schmidt is known to be one of those coaches that he's not really a romantic type coach, which maybe Eddie Jones was, but he's brutal and clinical on execution of plays and accuracy in all-round rugby plays, both on defence and attack. So that'll be good for the Wallabies definitely going forward. Look, secondly, the Wallabies, 3 tests this year, 3 good wins, 2 against Wales, 1 against Georgia. To be fair, it was a poor Wales side, and Georgia was a second-tier nation. So you would have expected them to win. But for me, what was really positive about it was you started seeing a Wallabies team playing with more confidence, a Wallabies team playing a bit more instinctively when there was space or opportunities in front of them. They would play on instinct and attack, and that aligns with the Australian rugby DNA to play on instinct and attack when available. Thirdly, look, selection. So you just look at Carter Gordon. And guys, I've said in previous video, Carter Gordon is a serious talent. His kicking, his passing, his general game management is really talented. But he's also very young. So obviously Eddie Jones brought him into the Wallabies for the World Cup, whereas Joe Schmidt has not brought him into the Wallabies and said he needs to go and develop a few areas in his game. So, like I said, Joe Schmidt, he is less romantic. He's obviously selected Noah Lolesio, who is maybe not quite as flamboyant as Carter Gordon, but Noah Lolesio has been very solid for the Brumbies. He has kicked well. He's led the Brumbies side well. He's defended well. So, look, he probably is the form first five in Australian rugby at the moment. A less romantic selection, though, in that regard. Finally, look, the Australian teams have started winning a lot more Super Rugby games. You know, you could just look at Super Rugby this year, particularly the Australian forwards. They were much more abrasive, much more effective and brutal on those ball carries. They targeted the breakdown an awful lot more. And ultimately, the Australian teams have won a lot more games than previous years in Super Rugby. So, obviously, with winning builds confidence, and you also learn how to win more games. Look, overall, it's positive for the Wallabies. They've got exceptional leadership at the top with Joe Schmidt. They're starting to do the basics very, very well. They're starting to play more in line with that Australian rugby DNA, play more on instinct with what's in front of them, playing with confidence and attacking when it's on. So ultimately, the Wallabies are moving in the right direction. Guys, let me know your thoughts, though. Are the Wallabies going to win the Bledisloe Cup this year? Are the Wallabies going to beat the Springboks in both tests? Or do you think that they're going to need a little bit of time to develop their systems and maybe 2025, 2026 is when the Wallabies will be a truly dangerous international side under Joe Schmidt? Time will tell. but they're certainly moving in the right direction, the Wallabies. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and add your comments on what you think is going to happen in the new era of Wallabies rugby. Cheers.